The Rap Roundtable.
To another person, Sim's talking about people getting their just due. Nas Escobar.
Yes, sir.
You know, he's been on quite the victory lap as far as getting his just due. You know, and there's still room for more as far as people being well aware of what was going on with him. Recently, Sim, news gets out, or I see it on Twitter, cover of GQ magazine. I'm not sure if this happened back in his prime, but based off the work he's doing and the fact we keep saying it here, maybe not other platforms aren't saying it, but we say it here right now. To me, the most clickable nigga in rap is Nas at the moment.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely.
And for businesses to see that there's an opportunity to do business with Nas, GQ magazine, that's a mainstream publication, y'all, by the way.
In 2023.
Somebody said that y'all gotta stop acting like Nas is my commie. They said it the other day, and that shit resonated with me because it's like, I keep saying Nas is a superstar.
Legendary.
My commie's not getting on the cover of GQ magazine.
Facts.
Nas Escobar, superstar, legend, GOAT, depending on who you ask, is on the cover. Sin, talk your shit, bro.
Escobar season continues, man.
Yes, sir.
Shouts to Nas, shouts to GQ, and they're, I think it's a bit of an offshoot of GQ. It's like a subsidiary or some GQ hype. You know, Escobar season continues, man. Shouts to Elliot Wilson for conducting the interview too.
Elliot getting those checks.
Yeah, man. Like the more and more that we that time passes, you know, the more difficult it is to argue against Nas being the GOAT or being 1B to Jay-Z's 1A, if that's how you feel about it. You know what I mean? But he's
1A to Jay-Z's 1B.
Well, I'm just saying, either the GOAT.
Anyway, no, he's not 1B.
Because I already mentioned.
He's not 1B. You're a fake Nas fan. You know what type
y'all.
is.
Nah, because I already said he's either the GOAT or he's 1B to Jay-Z's 1A. You know what I mean?
You gotta say 1A to Jay-Z's 1B because they're gonna.
You gotta flip it just to make.
But that just makes it. That still makes him the GOAT. That still makes him ahead of Jay.
Nah, A is better than B.
Yeah, it's the A GOAT and the B GOAT.
That's what I'm saying. But I already said GOAT, so I got. You're right. I'm making too much sense.
You see what I'm doing here, right?
It's me thinking that I'm making sense to me and us.
I'm y'all typing in the chat, by the way. That's what this means.
You know. Anyhow.
Twitter fingers.
Yeah, man. I love to see it. I'm so happy to see it, man. We were at the Garden, as you all well know. Shut the Garden down by himself. Just a couple of feature acts, a couple of guests. And yeah, he deserves every single last flower that he's getting right now. He absolutely deserves it. He was in the interview talking about how, he credits Biggie. I'm wearing Biggie on my shirt right now because, that when this drops next week, it's going to be close to, March 9th or whatever. So I figure I'll rep. But he definitely gives Biggie his props and his flowers for, for sort of helping him see how he could become a bigger, more impactful artist. And that's a big thing that, at some point we're going to have to talk about here at the table is like, like everybody wants their favorite artists to be, counted or seen as or ranked as high as other artists who have had these, this major impact in the mainstream and in the culture. Nas absolutely, with It Was Written, definitely took a departure from what he did in Illmatic, but he saw the need and he saw the lane for having a bigger impact, not just in hip hop, but across, across these boundaries, these genre bounds. And shouts to him, you know what I mean? And we've been saying this for a while here at the table, that, Biggie and Puff and Bad Boy, they really, they changed the game, and they changed the formula of how this rap shit goes, you know what I mean? And Nas followed suit. He followed it impeccably. To this day, he carries that with him, and we see where that's gotten him. We see what he's doing today. He still has that formula. Josh and I were just talking off wax. Josh, our engineer, super engineer, and like the finding Hit Boy and what Hit Boy has found in terms of a balance in sounds between, what we like, people are our age, our ilk, and the era that we came up with, but also sonically making things that feel fresh and current and of today. That's not an easy task. So, shouts to Hit Boy too. But yeah, man, Nas Escobar season continues. I couldn't be happier. Salute, man.
Talk to me, Denny.
To follow up what Sin said, it's almost like Nas is like the Benjamin Button of hip hop right now. Like he's going backwards, and I mean, when I say backwards, I don't mean as far as an MC, because lyrically he's amazing. It's like he's checking off boxes today in his 50s. That rappers, aim to check off when they're younger. Like he's doing that now. It's a 4P arguable classics in 3 years.
Right.
Yeah.
It's selling out the Garden.
Yeah.
Colbert,
Yeah.
Trevor Noah, The Daily Show.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? A bunch of commercials. Finances looking incredible. Like things that you wanted to do as a rapper when you were young. Nas is doing them as an older dude, and I think that's fucking phenomenal. I think it's an eye opener to what the culture has. It doesn't have to be a dropout at 30-year-old culture like it used to be. By the time you were 30, you had to hang it up. It proves to show that dudes can be in their 50s and still have great quality, great aspirations, great commitment, and still make shit fucking happen, man. Like, shout out to Nas. Like, I know, like, niggas like Hov sell out the Garden, but it's something at an older age, because, Hov is Hov, but it's monstrous for Nas, who's been always, the pure MC, didn't make too many commercial records, didn't have too many, but just off of the street tales, the stories, the
fuck are you talking about?
what I did.
What happened?
Too much Nas love?
What was that about, man?
Don't do that, job.
This guy.
Too much Nas love at the table. Shout out to Lord Jamal.
Everybody.
Yo.
Get the fuck out of here. I'm gonna bring my own drops one day, man.
Right?
Hijack the fucking aux cord. Fuck out of here,
Pelican
bro.
Bay, nigga.
He couldn't stand.
It was too much.
It was too much.
It
Too
was
much
too
love.
Couldn't stand Nas getting
It's a beautiful thing. 50
flowers
years old,
he
selling out
deserves.
the Garden and hip hop,
just
nigga.
rain more and more
I
flowers
told
on that
Sin
man.
I
Get
couldn't
that
be
nigga a
trusted
bouquet,
today, man.
bro. It's monstrous.
All right, I'm fucking with y'all. I'm fucking with y'all.
Easy, John.
I'm fucking with y'all because I know they itching for it. They want the
Yo,
static.
they love
but
it.
in all actuality,
I know, but I know you say because this got to feel like 2002 all over again.
Nah, he gonna close out the segment right. I
It
believe
doesn't.
in
It
Job.
doesn't.
He
It
gonna
doesn't.
close out right.
in all actuality, now that I pissed y'all off, I got y'all typing, blowing up the chat again. Nas is getting everything he deserves.
Yes.
Because you know what?
Everything.
The thing about it is, there's a large, I would say, if there's a pie chart, I would say more Nas fans believe that he got fronted on by the industry than Nas fans who believe, like myself, he was a superstar, he moved units, he's in movies, etc. Right? So they're looking at shit like The Garden, interviews on TV, now cover of GQ. They're looking at this like it's about fucking time.
Word.
So I'm speaking to those Nas fans and saying that you're absolutely right. Because if you put out the kind of quality of rap that he's put out over the last 2.5 years now, with three-ish,
Yeah.
close to 3, yeah, he deserves every fucking cover. If the Double XL and the Source still mattered, he need to be on their covers too. In fact, like whatever the hip hop publication, like has he sat down he did the interview, but on Rap Radar's pod, I would say Rap Radar's like outside of Drink Champs, but as far as Drake, strictly rap podcast without the extras, Rap Radar I would say is number 1.
Yeah.
He need to be on their chair next.
That's a fact.
He needs to do the tour. Because that's the thing about Nas, I would say, is like, he loves to rap. I don't think Nas has ever loved the business of rap, even before it became what it became with Bad Boy and everyone else who followed behind that. I don't think he ever loved
I feel like he hated
doing
it.
interviews,
Hated those things.
doing the radio promo tours. I don't think he liked that shit.
Just like making music.
Even
man.
because think about it, when Nas does an interview, when he's actually talking and orating his opinions, he never seems very comfortable in that space.
Till late. As of late.
Even
More so recently.
more so now.
Yeah,
but
that's what I'm talking about.
when I say that, what I'm saying, I'm comparing it to all the rappers who want that light.
Copy.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Nas, he'll answer your questions. He might even give you a little jokey joke here and there. But you could tell that he's just doing it because he has to do it.
Yeah.
He'd rather be in the stew. He'd rather be in Queensbridge, popping out with the lawn chair just out of left field, or just staying the fuck out the way entirely until it's time to drop an album. So to see him doing all of these things and getting that light, I don't know, like, if we ever got a chance to interview him, I would love to ask him, like, what's making you so comfortable more so now than then to do so? Because you're outside. Because even Nas never dropped year after year after year like this. Like, what's making you want to do this now? What sparked that flame now?
I mean, I guess Hit Boy will be a big part of that.
And it's one thing to drop albums.
Young energy.
Technically, Nasir's in that mix too, because Nasir dropped when? 2018? Then he came right back around 2020. He's putting out music. He wants to.
Takes a while off.
Not only is he outside, I get the sense that he wants to be outside. And I would love to know, like, what's making you at this point, like, where's that clear vision coming from? Because you can put the music out and disappear, but you're doing these interviews. You did the Woo Show, and then they bring in the Woo Show back.
Yes, sir. September 27th.
You know, like I look at Nas today, and it is almost like a certain fog has lifted.
Right. That's what I mean.
You know what I mean? And
So
like,
the question is, what has lifted that fog?
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
Like, what makes you want to be, for lack of a better phrase, a professional rapper now? You're doing all of the work now.
Maybe
that's-
for the boxes that didn't get checked off.
Because before Nas, he drops an album, he might hit you with a couple videos that we don't hear from Nas.
that's a loaded term.
He's doing show, bro, because he's doing all the rapping shit.
And to a high level.
I mean,
Interviews, magazine covers,
I feel
more
you.
visuals.
High level.
The past few
I
years,
feel
we got. Is this the second visual from King's Disease 3?
Maybe it's the second
I
childhood.
believe so. Maybe it's the second
We're
childhood.
getting multiple videos.
Yeah. Just got 30.
All I'm saying is he's doing all the shit that he doesn't normally do.
But I mean, let's take a look at the timeline though. Like, all right, we have 1999 where I Am in Nostradamus, and there's a little dip creatively and execution wise. But then he came back roaring in 2001, Stillmatic. Then 2002, Godson and Lost Tapes.
Yes,
But around that time, his mom's passed away, and we know
We saw firsthand.
we could see. Well, first of all, I've experienced that firsthand, so I know what that feels like.
Indeed.
But we could also see in him like how that affected him. And he was out of character when he was like wilding at wilding at the radio stations and cursing out Funk Flex and Angie Martinez and Fuck High 97 and all this shit. Like that was Nas is like a calm and collected dude. Like so nobody knows but him and maybe a very close circle around him like how that might have affected him, and that's something that that type of feeling, that type of pain doesn't ever really truly go away, but like maybe he just figured out how to get over it or how to get past it or how to just kind of deal with it in a more constructive way, right, where it doesn't get in the way of his creativity and his output and his passions and stuff like that, because it's very easy to cross those wires up, you know what I mean? But
I got a question for you.
maybe he uncrossed them somewhere along the way.
Do you think
Maybe it was
this-
therapy. Who knows?
Maybe. Do you think this is, because I feel like as we're all getting up in age, I know there's a thing like for all of us, even Josh in the cut over here. There's a certain point, we can't pinpoint it, but there's a certain point where we just stop giving a fuck. We just gonna do what we want to do.
It's like an epiphany.
Word. I'm slowly, gradually just getting to that space. It's like, fuck it. This is me. You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I wonder if Nas finally got to that space where it's like, this is it. This is who I am.
Right.
Fuck overthinking this shit. Y'all the same sign. You the king of overthinking shit. So it's like, at a certain point, it's like, did he just stop overthinking this rap shit? Said, fuck it, I'm gonna do everything now.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck. I got nothing to lose.
Maybe Hit Boy tapped him on the shoulder and said, yo, this fucking game, you need to get everything you fucking worth out of this shit. You know what I'm saying? You done gave your life to this shit.
You think that's what it is? Like,
Go get that fucking
you the
Grammy.
fucking goat. Why you playing with
Yeah,
that?
go get that fucking
'cause
Grammy.
look,
Go get that sold out concert.
I remember I forgot where I read it or heard it possibly, but I think I read it somewhere that the classic Nas verse for verbal intercourse. You know what I mean? He was in the studio with Ray and he was spitting it for Ray, and Ray was like, oh my God, like what the fuck? But Nas was like, yeah, I don't know. It sounded alright, right? Like I should change this. I should change this line. I should change this verse. I should change this. Switch this around. And Ray was like, bro, what the fuck are you talking about? This is the greatest verse I ever fucking heard in my life.
What the
Don't
fuck are
do
you
nothing with
talking
that
about?
shit. What do you what? You know what I mean? And like, to that end, yeah, I mean, Nas he seems like an overthinker, you know what I mean? And so maybe, maybe Hit Boy is that voice that counteracts the voice in his head that overthinks and overanalyzes shit. And like, Hit Boy brings him out of that mode and is like, yo, you're doing it again.
Word.
You're overthinking again. You're being critical of
fucking
yourself.
Nas, bro.
You're being overcritical about the bars you wrote.
Mm-hmm.
This shit is an amazing song, an amazing verse. You're the GOAT. Go with it.
I knew things were different with Hit Boy and Nas when he did Spicy. Just the song.
Mm-hmm.
When was the last time prior to Spicy that he did a song like Spicy?
And get vibey
Yeah.
like that.
Like he trusted this
Bullshit.
kid. Because he's a kid compared to Nas.
Yeah.
For sure.
To go in that direction. And the song was fucking fire.
Dope.
Let's call it what it is. You know what I mean?
Dope.
Favi, Ferg, Nas.
Yeah.
So
Neo
fire that he
shit.
performed it in the Garden.
Yeah. You
know
see
what I
the
mean?
reaction? Heavy.
So, yo, listen. KD4, Magic, whatever the fuck. Whatever you want.
KD4.
Outside of all the trolling and joking with the fans, the people who get that it's comedy and not serious, that is, because a lot of y'all still don't get the show. I've been watching it so long, and I think I just come to argue with us when it comes to Nas because you're not really realizing what's going on. So, like, LP who gets it, Dionel who gets it, Nas to go, you guys, and the rest
Get
of you, Marcos, a lot of y'all who get the show and realize
Leroy
it's
Green.
jokes, and we're at the lunch table. Shout out to y'all. But when Nas drops, I'm gonna tune in, and if it's fire, I'm gonna say it's fire.
It is what it is.
It's documented. He dropped 4 albums in a row,
Arguable
and
classics.
I think statistically, I gave it the highest marks.
You
For
did.
all the jokes that y'all hear from me when the music drops, I don't got shit to say, but nothing but good shit, I should say.
If it's good, it's good.
Right.
Put it that way.